guys, it's Anish and today I am back with another video. So the topic of today's video is gonna be the top 5 best Pokemon types. Now, what do I mean by the top 5 best Pokemon types? Well, since I don't know much about VGC, I am gonna be basing this whole discussion on only Smogon. Since I know very little about Smogon, but it's more than how much I know about VGC. So again, this video is based mostly off Smogon, and in Smogon, this video is based on the moves that this type allows to be used, the Pokemon of this type, the weaknesses, resistances, and strengths of this type. So be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you like this video, and be sure to watch my other videos. Thanks, and let's get this video started. Now, the first type that we're going to talk about is actually the newest type that came to us. Of course, I'm talking about none other than the Fairy type. Now, the Fairy type was created as a check to dragons, mostly for that reason. Pokemon like Salamence, Flygon, and Garchomp were becoming too powerful to be contained. So, the Fairy type gave Steel and Poison a more offensive versatility and also act like a check to the Dragon types, which were very formidable in the metagame. Fairy types are really good with some really good clerics in the game, like Comfey and Aromatisse, and also some really good special attackers, like Gardevoir and Ribombee. But the reason Fairy types aren't higher on this list is because Fairy types aren't actually very common in the metagame. Because most of them aren't really that strong. Like Slurpuff. Slurpuff is the whole reason to why Fairy types aren't used. Really. I'm sorry, Slurpuff fans. I'm really sorry. But coming back to the point, Fairy types aren't used much in the metagame, not because of Slurpuff, which I said, but because most of them aren't really that strong. Also, Fairy types don't have much offensive versatility, as they barely have any physical attacks. I mean, really, they only have one physical attack, and the other one is a Z move. So, really. So, Pokemon like Azumarill and Mimikyu can't access their full potential because of this Fairy type drawback. And this is the reason why I put Fairy type in the 5th spot on this list. Coming in at number 4 is none other than the Ground type. Now, the Ground type isn't a very common type you see on these kind of lists. But the reason I chose the Ground type is because, like the Fighting type, it is an offensive powerhouse. Now, in this list, for the offensive powerhouse, I chose Ground over Fighting, because even though the Ground type and the Fighting type share the same amount of strengths, the Ground type has lesser weaknesses than it, and can tank those weaknesses better because of its really high because the average defense of a Ground type Pokemon is really, really high. There are a lot of really good Ground type Pokemon, such as Garchomp and Mamoswine, who are both in the OU tier. And the thing is, the Ground type can take hits and it can give hits. And even though the average Ground type special attack stat isn't really high, the Ground types make up for it by having an immense physical attack stat average. So the Ground type has some really, really good physical attack options, such as Earthquake, which is a really, really, really common move in the meta, and it also has access to moves to one of the most common hazard moves, which is none other than Spikes. Some other really good Ground type moves include Magnitude, which, even though is random, can prove itself worthy in some circumstances. But the reason Ground type is this low on this list is there are not that many really good Ground type Pokemon. I said there that Garchomp and Mamoswine do exist, but that's pretty much it. Can you think of another good ground type Pokemon? Well, except for Flygon, because everybody likes Flygon, you know. So, yeah, and there are some better types out there. So, these are the reasons why ground type took its spot at number 4. Claiming the number 3 spot on this list is none other than the flying type. Now, the flying type is mentioned a lot as the most balanced type, having 3 weaknesses, 3 resistances, and 3 strengths. The flying type is also a very versatile type with this balance and with the fact that there are some really good special attackers like Lugia and some really good physical attackers like Swallow. And it also has a lot of special moves and physical moves to complement them, like Air Slash and Hurricane and Brave Bird and Acrobatics. Now, the flying type, it makes a great addition to any dual type because of the fact that it's so versatile and is so balanced. There's a lot of good flying type combinations around, like Dragon Flying and Electric Flying. But the problem with the flying type, and the reason that it's not very common in the higher tiers, is Stealth Rocks. Stealth Rocks is the most at the moment is the most prominent hazard move and can inflict a lot of damage on flying types that come into battle. So these are the reasons why flying type has claimed the number 3 spot on this list. The second spot on this list goes to none other than the Steel type. Now, if you didn't know, Steel type has a whopping 10 resistances. 10. Are you serious? It's obviously the most resistances that in the game. To complement this, it also has an immunity to one of the best status conditions, poison. A lot of steel types also have a really good defense stat, and they have a fairly decent attack stat. To complement this, they have a lot of really good physical moves to choose from, like Metal Claw, Gyro Ball, Iron Head, and Iron Tail. And for special attackers, there's also Flash Cannon. Pokemon like Metagross, Magnezone, and Scizor are on top of their tier. Steel types is overall a really good type, but there's only one type that trumps it. And that type is the first place on this list goes to none other than the Dragon type. Come on, you all saw this coming. If it wasn't going to be the Fairy type, then it was going to be the Dragon type. If it wasn't going to be the Fairy or Steel type, it was going to be the Dragon type. If it wasn't going to be the Steel type, it was going to be the Dragon type. If it wasn't going to be you get the idea. The Dragon type is such a good type because of the fact that most Dragon types have crazy stats. And don't get me started on how more than half the pseudo-legendaries are Dragon types. Salamence, Hydreigon, and Komodo, Garchomp. All of these Pokemon are Dragon types. Dragon types usually have crazy attack, and to complement this, we have some really good physical moves like Dragon Claw and Dragon Rush. And even for the special attacking Dragon types, like my boy Noivern, there are moves like Dragon Pulse. So, in short, the Dragon types are a really good type. The Dragon type also has resistances to the most abundant type, water, and the fourth most abundant type, grass. And the Dragon types only has 3 weaknesses, and one of them is ice, which in my opinion is the weakest type, and the other one is itself. Fairy is the only concrete good type against Dragon. So, in short, this is the reason. The dragon types are really good type because of the fact that most of them have crazy stats. They have some really good moves to complement those stats, and they have not many weaknesses to be attacked with. Thank you for watching this video so much. Be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and share this video with a friend if you liked it. And stay tuned for more videos on this channel.